Welcome back to Caterpillar Summer as we read Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Cat grasped Chicken's hand the entire four-block walk to their apartment building. Chicken hopped up the steps one by one while Cat hunted in her backpack for the key. Each apartment in their building had its own floor, like a layer cake. Another good simile. Someone had numbered the block out of order, and the building's paint was peeling, but 544 was the only home Cat had ever known. She unlocked the door. Chicken dumped his backpack and sped down the hall. Shh, Cat Whisper shouted, pointing at the closed door of Mom's studio. She's working. He didn't answer, shaking his head. She picked up his backpack and hung it on its hook. In the living room, books were scattered on the coffee table. Plastic trains crisscrossed the country on their half-finished game of Ticket to Ride. An ivy plant suffered in the corner. Next was Mom's studio, which she said had the best light in the entire apartment. Sometimes she played music or a podcast while she worked, but today was quiet. After that was Cat and Chicken's room, where Chicken was already unlocking the metal can that held his marble collection. To keep things quieter for the apartment downstairs, Mom had found a piece of carpet, but it was too big for the room, so it curled along the edges of the wall like an upside-down slice of melted cheese. Man, this writer is great with similes and descriptions. Look at that. It curled along the edges of the wall like an upside-down slice of melted cheese. Another great simile. The kitchen had a fake marble vinyl floor and buttered-colored counters. Pale yellow tile continued above the sink, and two were painted with a little Dutch girl and boy. The girl had a pointed hat, pink cheeks, and looked straight forward. Her brother in wooden shoes was by her side. I bet you never lose your brother, Cat muttered under her breath. A door with a rectangle of frosted glass led from the kitchen to Mom's bedroom. It had once been the dining room and was the room Cat loved best. A chandelier hung above the patchwork quilt-covered bed. Bookshelves with stained glass doors surrounded the fireplace. The fireplace didn't work, but even the idea of it made the room cozier. Each week, Mom helped Cat wash and braid her hair into the perfect French braid. Cat's hair took a long time to comb out, which tried both their patience. But afterwards, when they sat on Mom's bed and her fingers pulled just right, not too loose, not too tight, and her hair went slip, slip, slip into the braid, it was the best part of Cat's week. Some nights after Chicken was snoring in the bottom of the bunk, a buttery popcorn smell came from the kitchen. She and Mom would stretch out on the patchwork quilt with the enormous bowl between them. Mom usually picked a movie from a long time ago when people made questionable fashion choices. Cat would tell silly stories, and Mom's big crashing laugh warmed the room. Or Cat might whisper something awful like the time every girl except for Cat showed up to class with their nails the same shade of lavender from the birthday party Cat hadn't been invited to. A hug from Mom hadn't fixed it, but it had pulled Cat's heart from the bottom of the Marina Trench to somewhere around sea level. Mom had been working constantly, so they hadn't had a movie night in months. The most recent time they'd stood at the window together, Cat had looked all the way past the schoolyard and the thick trees of the Presidio to the tiny red light on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. They turned it on tonight, Cat had said. Mom squinted. Turned what on? The light, answered Cat. Sometimes it's on and sometimes it's not. Tonight it's on. Oh, honey, she said. That light is there every night. Cat frowned. She knew it wasn't always there. Mom leaned her chin against the top of Cat's head. At times the fog got in its way, Mom continued, but the light shines anyways, no matter what. Mom was like the light on the bridge, Cat decided. Even when they were separated by a wall of drawings and deadlines, she was still there. The thought was enough to get Cat through anything. She glanced at the clock, automatically adding 3 hours for Georgia time, wondering if she could squeeze in a video chat. Chicken's marbles were click, click, clicking as he sorted them into piles. Her stomach growled the 2 bites of pineapple bun, long forgotten, but maybe she could talk to Rishi before she made dinner. She grabbed her tablet from the kitchen counter and clicked Rishi's name. But there was no answer. Later, she'd look over his emails, and the ones that described the swimming, boating, fishing adventures they'd have. 3 weeks of glow sticks and marshmallows, 3 weeks of fireflies and floating in a lake under a big blue Georgia sky. Cat was up for anything. Cat opened the fridge. Before her dad had always cooked for the family, Cat remembered how easily the knife fit into his hands when he chopped vegetables. One at a time, he handed her eggs to crack and mix in her own little bowl. He never minded if she got bits of shell in it. He always made her feel like her help was important. Cat turned the stove's dial and put bread in the toaster. Mom's studio door was still closed. Cat wouldn't miss that closed door feeling when they were together in Georgia. She cracked the eggs and whisked them, adding salt and pepper, then poured them in the skillet and pulled out 3 plates. Stirring the eggs, she called to Chicken, "Peanut butter on your toast?" "Yeah." She spread peanut butter and cut apples. Chicken might not touch the apple slices, but Cat would know she tried. She grabbed his favorite hot sauce, the one with the wooden cap and the picture of the lady dressed in white. Chicken had a need to put hot sauce on everything. Chicken padded into the room. "Is Mama eating with us?" Cat paused. "I'll check. Go wash your hands." She grabbed Mom's plate and walked down the highway. There was the hallway. There was a chance that Mom would eat with them, but it was more likely she'd grab a few bites while she was working. When Cat walked into the studio, Mom looked tired. The skin under her eyes were purplish, but still she beamed at Cat. "Hey, sweet caterpillar." Cat winced. She'd asked Mom to stop calling her that. "I made eggs," she said, lifting the plate. Mom looked apologetic. I'm not at good at stopping at I'm not at a good stopping point." When Mom worked, she had a hard time changing gears, especially when there was a big deadline. "I'll leave your food." Cat pushed aside a stack of envelopes to make a spot. Mom reached for Cat's hand and held it. Cat looked down. Mom wore Daddy's silver wedding band on her thumb. One side was wrapped with yarn to make the finger hole smaller so it wouldn't slip off. When he was alive, he let Cat try it on whenever she wanted. She could hardly fit 3 of her little girl fingers inside it. That had been a long time ago. "Honey," Mom said, I could tell something's wrong." Cat inside spun guiltily. Did Mom somehow know that Chicken had run away? "I think I know what's bothering you," Mom continued, rubbing her eyes. "I've been working a lot, leaning on you too much." Cat felt extra mixed up. It wasn't right to keep secrets from Mom. On the other hand, Mom didn't need any more stress. Chicken was safe. That is what mattered. It's fine. I understand the words felt thick, but Mom was shaking her head. I'm working hard so I can relax when we're on our trip. After I finish teaching for the day, I'll be all yours. Mom sighed, still holding Kat's hand. I depend on you, but I know you can handle it. You're the glue holding the three of us together. Kat squeezed her eyes shut. The words crowded inside her. If Mom knew about Chicken's wandering away, she wouldn't be so sure Kat could handle things. But she couldn't say anything, not when Mom needed Kat's help. She would tell her another time, when Mom was feeling relaxed. Mom reached out and gave Kat a quick squeeze. Kat hugged her back. Tell Chicken I'll check on him soon, okay? Kat nodded. She shut the door gently behind her. At the table, she gulped her eggs, which were cold, and then Chicken helped her clear the plates. Beth? He asked. Oh, I can't read today. I'm sorry. Bath? He asked. Kat looked at the clock. No time tonight. Face and teeth. She scrubbed the dishes, then placed them in the drying rack. Chicken came out of the bathroom in jammies, shirt on backward. Let me see, she said. He opened his mouth wide to show Kat. She checked behind his ears. Good job. Do you want a book? No, said Chicken. Kat raised her eyebrow. No book? I don't want a book. I want 10 books, he answered, grinning. One book, and only when your head touches the pillow. He was already running, sock feet slipping on the wood floor. She gave him a head start before chasing after him, skidding down the hall. I won, he said when she came in. His blanket was pulled up to his chin, and he held a Caterpillar and Chicken book, the same one he read on Clement Street. Kat smiled. Back when Chicken was in preschool, he loved trains more than anything. This book was based on something that really happened. Chicken had asked to go to the trains, and Mom bought tickets. At the train station, Chicken had been bubbling over, kind of happy, but when they tried to board, his mood changed. I wanted to go to the trains. I do not want to go on the train. Do you see the relationship now? Caterpillar is short for cat. The sister, Chicken, is the brother. She glanced at Chicken. He had fallen asleep as she read. Gripping the plastic shark in one hand, she looked back at the final drawing, at the clouds scribbled over Caterpillar's head. Clearly, Caterpillar was furious. In the newer books, she never got angry. She was always sweet and kind, never a bit frustrated no matter what Chicken did. In real life, the train day had been the opposite of funny. In the station, Chicken screamed, and Mom was the human version of a gray scribble cloud. Kat had figured out that Chicken hadn't wanted to take a trip. He wanted to watch the trains go by. That's what Mom meant when she called Kat the glue. Errands, making dinner, packing suitcases were only a part of it. Kat was the problem solver, the one who knew Chicken well enough to know the difference between what he said and what he meant. Chicken dug his bony elbow into Kat's ribs. She rolled away, listening to his slow breathing. The closet door had been flung open, probably when Chicken picked out his pajamas. She needed to pack. She'd get up and do that soon. But for now, she would close her eyes. It had been a long day and she needed a minute. The foghorns on the Golden Gate Bridge bleated their different tones. Kat listened for the pattern. Even with the thickened summer fog, even though Kat couldn't see it, she knew the little red light glowed on. Tune in next time as we read chapter